Let's first take a look at how the Asian markets are faring, and it's a fairly decent start, if you could call it that. It's a mixed picture compared to what the earlier projections were. The Hang Seng currently trading 0.6% higher. The Taiwanese index trading with gains. The Kospi is now up almost 71% on a year-to-date basis. That's the South Korean index, and that is turning out to be the best year that this index has had since 1999. So, the best performing index in the Asia Pacific, the Kospi of South Korea. The Nikkei, well, trading above the flat line, 0.25% higher. The Shanghai Composite is the only index among the Asian pack that is trading currently below the flat line. So, as of now, it's a largely positive start for our own markets. And pull up the GIFT Nifty, that will give you an idea of how our own markets are likely to start off. Well, a gap up, 165 points gap up, and of course we have reasons of our own, which I'll tell you in just a bit. And to set you up for today's trade, our research team is here with the trade setup, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and of course the setup on the F&O side of things as well. And as I was mentioning, the GIFT Nifty currently indicating a gap up start for our own markets, and we have our reasons for that. Of course, first one being the exit polls from Bihar pointing to the NDA, most of the exit polls pointing to the NDA having the edge in the assembly polls. So, policy continuity there is what is giving the GIFT Nifty a boost. And of course, the big news that came in yesterday, that the hopes of a trade deal between India and the US have now risen, and as a result of which this optimism that came in the second half of the trading session yesterday and carrying on in today's session as well, there are hopes that the trade deal will be done sooner or later. The Nifty is up almost 200 points in the last two sessions, and it is likely to extend those gains now for the third day running. At this point, the important level to watch out for is of course firstly being Tuesday's high, which is 25,712. That's the first level to watch, and then move of course towards that 25,750, 25,850 congestion zone that you need to watch out for. On the downside, it's getting firmly established that 25,450, 25,500 zone is emerging to be a very important support that needs to be watched out for. On the downside, of course, that resistance number needs to be changed. Of course, that's 25,850, not 27. But on the downside, as I was mentioning, 25,450, 25,500, that range is turning out to be a support, as evident from the intraday lows of the last two sessions, which was 25,450 and yesterday was 25,500. So, you need to keep an eye out on all of those levels. The Nifty Bank needs to be watched out for, because that again closed above the mark of 58,000 yesterday. So, it's around about 400, 450 points away from its own record highs. So, that needs to be kept into account as well. Important triggers to watch today: the commercial vehicles business of Tata Motors is listing. Grow, India's biggest broker, that's going to be listing today. So, important listings to watch out for. Earnings from Tata Steel, Asian Paints, a lot of earnings reactions as well. So, it's an action-packed session that is lined up in store. Over to Vinny now, who is going to list out the stocks that you need to watch out for today. Vinny, good morning. What's on your list?
Hi, good morning. So firstly, I'll start with some of the earnings that were reported. Tata Power, weak set of numbers, or muted set of numbers this time in Q2 FY26. What is impacting the numbers? Mundra shutdown as well as muted power demand. So that is why the revenues were down by around 1%. Profits declined by around 0.7%, and margins also have seen a contraction, 21.2% versus 23.9%. This operational weakness, obviously that is something that we saw coming in, but there was a strong Odisha Discom performance as well as solar module performance. So you shouldn't forget that part, but a muted set this time. Also, the company has proposed to buy 40% stake in its special purpose vehicle for 1,572 crores. PI Industries, that's the next one. Weak set of numbers coming in here as well. Revenues down by around 16%, profits down by 19% as well. Domestic revenue seen a decline of 13% on a year-on-year basis, and volumes on the domestic side also have seen a decline of 9%. Margins a bit muted on a year-on-year basis. IOL Chemicals, on the other hand, they've managed to see a steady quarter. Revenue growth of 8%. We're seeing profit growth of around 56%, and margins have seen an improvement of around 200 basis points. More than that, 10% is what the EBITDA margins have come in at. Torrent Power, a strong set of numbers reported by the company with a growth of around 10% in terms of revenues. Margin seeing a good improvement as well on a year-on-year basis. High contribution from merchant power sales and gas-based power plants is something that led the performance for Torrent Power. BSC, a slight margin contraction that one has seen coming in. Growth was mainly led by the surge in service corporates on a sequential basis and rise in other operating income on a sequential basis of 33%. So overall revenue growth on a year-on-year basis, we would look at was good, 44% revenue growth, and profits is 61% growth there. ESAF Small Finance Bank, what we're seeing is the asset quality seems to have deteriorated a bit. The gross non-performing assets are coming in at around 8.54% versus 7.48% quarter-on-quarter basis. Even as asset quality has seen a bit of a deterioration, and losses, though, have seen a bit of a reduction on a year-on-year basis. Thermax, a weak set of numbers coming in from the company, miss on all fronts. Execution challenges, that is something that is still persisting for the company. Bikaji managed to perform good in Q2 FY26, 16% growth. Margins have seen an improvement as well. Translate Lighting, good performance, strong performance coming in from the company. Execution is doing well, order inflow steady, and continued execution and transmission and distribution division is something that is leading to the good revenue growth, but expenses of subcontracting are higher. So overall, a bit of an impact in terms of margins as well as the profitability of the company.
Boy, it's a long list. Vinny, thank you for that update. And lastly, Sudarshan joins in with cues from the FNO space. Sudarshan, good morning. Is the FNO data suggesting 26,000 to be in sight?
At least as of now, it's suggesting that market is set to move higher for third straight day. If not today, in next 2 or 3 days, in all probability, we might hit 26,000 again. So yesterday, what a day it was. So for the last 2 days, the market has played out as per the cues that we had got the indication from. And now the range for Nifty has moved higher. It's between 25,600 to 26,000. If you talk about yesterday's session, so part of the gains can be attributed to the weekly expiry, and second, there was an expectation of the exit poll, and there was an expectation that NDA is likely to win this time as well, and that's the reason market had seen a sharp recovery. Now, what's happening on the flows front? I can see that FIs remain on the sell side, but sell quantum has come down drastically. So yesterday in the cash market, we have seen FIs sell of just rupees 800 crore, and while DIs remain on the buy side, yesterday also they have bought more than rupees 2,180 crore. In the index futures, to sell figure was just rupees 612 crore, and the addition on the short side was around 2,700 contracts. Now look at the option side. One call option which was the most active was 26,000. It saw addition of 31 lakh shares, and premium 2 has increased to 59 from the level of 43, and 25,600 put premium has seen it has gone down from the level of 131. It has slipped to 86. Support 25,600. First resistance 25,800. Next resistance comes around 25,950. For Nifty Bank, support 57,750. Resistance would be 58,600. One stock is in the band, that is SAIL, and apart from that, Lotus has seen fresh shorts over the last 2 days, so keep an eye on that, and Persistent and Muthoot have been seeing fresh longs.
Sudarshan, thank you for that update.